Have you ever found yourself standing in a Norwegian supermarket, staring at cartons labeled Let Milk and Hell Milk, and wondering if you've accidentally wandered onto the set of a gentle opera? The background hum of voices, the melodic rise and fall of conversations, it almost feels like everyone around you is part of a soft, everyday symphony. But don't worry, you haven't stumbled into a rehearsal for a musical. That's just Norwegians talking about the weather, or maybe what's for dinner. Norwegian is a language with a gentle, sing-song cadence. Surprising, isn't it? When you remember it descends from the fierce, battle-hardened Vikings of legend. To outsiders, it's a puzzle. It's not as harsh or guttural as German, nor as smooth and flowing as French. Instead, it dances and lilts, with a rhythm all its own, sometimes playful, sometimes mysterious. You might overhear Norwegians chatting and wonder if they're about to break into an argument or suddenly burst into song. The truth is, their voices just naturally carry that musical quality. Most of the time, they're probably just deciding where to get coffee, or maybe debating which pastry to order with it. This video is your invitation to join a journey into that sound, the unique melody of Norwegian. We'll explore what people expect Norwegian to sound like and what it actually is when you hear it in the wild. Along the way, we'll see how foreigners react, sometimes with delight, sometimes with confusion, and often with a sense of wonder at this unexpected musicality. Why does a language spoken by just over 5 million people sound so unique, so different from its Scandinavian cousins? The answer is a fascinating mix of history, geography, and a certain national stubbornness that refuses to let the language be tamed. It's a story shaped by centuries of isolation, dramatic landscapes, and a proud culture that values its roots. History, geography, and national stubbornness, all woven together. Norwegian refuses to be pinned down or easily defined, just like its people, who thrive in wild landscapes and unpredictable weather. So forget the old stereotype of stoic, silent Scandinavians. Their language tells a different story, one that's lively, expressive, and full of surprises. Norwegian is filled with unexpected melodies, quirky letters you won't find anywhere else, and a dialect for every fjord and valley. Each region adds its own twist, making the language a patchwork of sounds and stories. There's truly a dialect for every fjord, every mountain, every little village tucked away in the landscape. So get ready to listen closely and discover the strange and wonderful music of Norway, where even a simple hello can sound like the start of a beautiful song, echoing the spirit of the Vikings in a way you never expected. Before you hear Norwegian, your mind probably conjures up a soundscape built from myths and pop culture. Many expect something harsh and guttural. Think Hollywood Vikings shouting Skål or storming longships. Others imagine the brooding whispers of Nordic noir detectives, as if Norwegian is always serious and clipped, but these stereotypes miss the mark. Some lump all Scandinavian languages together, expecting Norwegian to sound like the Swedish chef from the Muppets. This Scandi blob idea erases the unique character of Norwegian, which has a rhythm all its own. And then there's the folklore trolls, gnomes, and magical forests, leading some to expect a language that's earthy and ancient. The reality? Norwegian is cheerful, bouncy, and perfect for discussing the price of brown cheese. It's a language that surprises, never quite what you expect. The biggest shock for most people is just how light and musical it sounds. The myths set you up for something fierce or mysterious. What you get is a language that's playful, melodic, and unmistakably Norwegian. Hearing Norwegian for the first time is often pure auditory confusion. The unfamiliar melody of the language can catch even seasoned travelers off guard, making them pause and wonder what exactly is happening around them. Many foreigners can't tell if Norwegians are arguing or serenading each other. The pitch accent is that strong. The animated gestures and lively facial expressions only add to the mystery, making it hard to decipher the mood of the conversation. One American tourist said, "Their voices went up and down so much I thought they were fighting. Turns out, it was just bus schedules." This kind of misunderstanding is surprisingly common, especially among those who come from countries where speech is more monotone. The language sounds soft and cheerful, totally at odds with the Viking stereotype. Instead of harsh or intimidating, Norwegian is often described as gentle and inviting, with a musical quality that surprises many. "It's bouncy," a German student remarked, like they're always amused. The playful rhythm of Norwegian can make even the most mundane topics sound lighthearted and fun. An Italian visitor said, "It sounds like they're smiling when they speak." This sense of warmth and friendliness is something that stands out to many first-time listeners. For some, the sound is so unique they compare it to a cartoon voice, or even the language of elves. It's whimsical, almost magical, and unlike anything they've heard before. The rising and falling tones can seem artificial or exaggerated to those used to monotone languages. It's as if the language itself is performing, adding a theatrical flair to everyday exchanges. It's almost as if every statement is a question, charming but disorienting. The intonation keeps listeners guessing, making even simple conversations feel dynamic and alive. The most common reaction? Pleasant surprise. People expect something cold or distant, but instead, they're greeted by a language that feels welcoming and full of life. "It's much prettier than I imagined," is a phrase you hear a lot. The musicality of Norwegian leaves a lasting impression, often changing people's perceptions of the country itself. Norwegian turns everyday conversation into a subtle bit of music. Even the simplest exchanges are laced with melody, making the language a joy to listen to. It's a language that soaks up the beauty of its landscape and lets it sing. Just as Norway's scenery is breathtaking, the sound of its language is equally enchanting, echoing the country's natural charm and vibrant culture. So, what gives Norwegian its signature sing-song sound? The answer: pitch accent. Unlike English, which uses stress, Norwegian adds musical tones to stressed syllables. Some words change meaning based on the tune you use, like meaning farmers or beans, depending on the pitch. This tonal system creates the constant melody that fascinates and confuses foreigners. Even a simple sentence like rises and falls like a musical phrase. Norwegian's unique vowels, A, E, O, and A, add to its character, along with diphthongs like and. Filler words like right and yes, yes add to the rhythm. These small touches make Norwegian sound agreeable, gentle, and always in motion. The language bobs along like a boat on a calm fjord. It's not just what you say, but how you sing it. The result is a language that's as playful as it is musical. Norwegian conversation is a roller coaster, one you'll want to ride again. To truly understand Norwegian, you have to hear it side by side with Danish. The differences and similarities become much clearer when you listen to both languages in real-life conversations, like friends chatting over coffee in Oslo and Copenhagen. And don't forget Swedish. These three languages, Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish, are technically mutually intelligible, meaning speakers can often understand each other. But the music of each language is completely different, giving each its own unique personality and rhythm. Danish, for example, often sounds mumbled, with soft consonants and endings that seem to disappear. It's as if the speaker is trying to talk with a hot potato in their mouth, making the words blend together in a soft, almost secretive way. Norwegians love to joke that Danes speak as if they're trying not to wake a sleeping baby. This makes Norwegian sound much crisper and clearer by comparison, almost as if it's enunciated on purpose. Swedish, on the other hand, is like a smooth, drawn-out pop ballad. It's more melodic, less bouncy, and has a gentle sing-song quality that makes it sound almost musical. The secret to Swedish's elegance lies in its vowels. Swedish vowels are longer and more pronounced, giving the language a flowing, elegant sound that's easy on the ears and instantly recognizable. Norwegian sits right in the middle, clear and bright like Swedish, but with a hyperactive, playful melody all its own. It's lively, energetic, and full of ups and downs, almost as if the language itself is bouncing with excitement. When you hear them side by side, the differences are stark and fascinating. Danish is the quiet mumbler, Swedish the smooth singer, and Norwegian is the energetic storyteller, always animated and expressive, drawing everyone in with its lively rhythm. Norwegian's lively character makes it stand out in the Scandinavian soundscape, filling conversations with energy and warmth. It's the language that doesn't just speak, it dances, weaving through conversations with a cheerful, contagious spirit. The result? Norwegian is instantly recognizable, even among its closest relatives, always catching your ear in a crowd. It's the cheerful, vibrant voice in a family of singers, always ready to tell a story or share a laugh. And that's what makes Norwegian unforgettable, a language that brings people together and leaves a lasting impression. If Norwegian's basic sound isn't confusing enough, just travel 20 kilometers in any direction. Norway is a country of dialects. Each valley, island, and village has its own way of speaking. Geography kept communities isolated, letting unique dialects flourish. A Bergen local might struggle to understand someone from rural Trøndelag. Unlike many countries, Norway celebrates its dialects. News anchors and pop stars use their own on national TV. For learners, this means a dizzying array of pronunciations and vocabulary. The word for I alone can be jeg, egg, ag, or I. Norwegians are masters of code switching, smoothing out their dialects when needed. But with hometown friends, the thick dialect comes out in full force. In Norway, there isn't one correct way to speak. There are hundreds, each telling its own story. Just when you think you've got Norwegian figured out, there's another twist: two official written languages. Bokmål and Nynorsk, both taught in schools, both used in daily life. Bokmål evolved from Danish, used by most Norwegians, especially in cities. Nynorsk was built from rural dialects, a patriotic alternative, and is strong in Western Norway. For foreigners, this paper war is bewildering. Words can look different from one region to the next. For example, boy is ongut in Bokmål, eingut in Nynorsk. The differences are small but constant, a reminder that language here is about identity as much as communication. In Norway, even the written word is a patchwork of history and pride. It's a country where language is always a statement. Foreigners have come up with some hilarious ways to describe Norwegian. The most famous? Drunk Swedish, melodic like Swedish but wobblier and more unpredictable. Others say it sounds like the language of elves, light, musical, almost magical. Some combine the two, drunk Swedish spoken by elves. Others compare it to Dutch but happy, or someone from Liverpool trying to speak German. The emotional tone stands out. It sounds like everyone is telling a delightful secret, or permanently optimistic. These takes show that when we hear a foreign language, we're really hearing music, emotion, and personality. Norwegian, more than most, invites you to listen for the melody. What makes Norwegian special is its unpredictability. It's not the harsh tongue of Vikings or the whisper of a crime drama. It's a tapestry woven from history, geography, and local pride. Its sound reflects the Norwegian spirit, calm, playful, and full of warmth. Pitch accents turn statements into songs, and dialects change from one mountain to the next. Two written forms coexist, and Norwegians navigate it all with ease. For those who listen, Norwegian offers a delightful auditory experience. It's more than words, it's the living melody of a culture. So next time you hear Norwegian, close your eyes and listen to the music. What does it sound like to you? Whatever your answer, you've discovered one of Europe's most enchanting secrets.